Hey guys, welcome back to Watch Trading Academy, and joining me today is once again Mike. $250,000, my friend.
Yeah, man.
We were here how long ago?
Yeah, I didn't even get a chance to have my 100K club interview.
I know, like no, but you had an interview on the computer, didn't you?
Yeah, with Gabe.
Yeah, exactly. How long ago was that?
That was the end of December.
So end of December, you're 100K.
Yeah,
We're only in February.
correct.
2 months later, you're 250K.
Yes.
All right, so you're going to be teaching the course and taking this interview over here, and I'll sit here. So first off, big congrats, because this is a big. I mean, it's a big step, right?
Yeah, man. It's cool.
So I know most people know you now in the group, etc. And we're going to talk a little bit about some of that, but real briefly for people that don't know you, what was your background before WTA and watches, and how did you get started?
I've been in sales since I was like 17. I started in the car business, moved over to finance, and just recently I quit my finance job on January 1st. I'm doing this full time now, and it's going well. The freedom that it provides is just awesome.
How does that feel to quit your job?
Amazing.
Was it scary?
At first, yeah.
Because you're used to getting a paycheck,
Like
right?
getting that like the golden handcuffs they talk about, right? That comfort of knowing that every 2 weeks that direct deposit is going to hit. Letting go of that was a little bit like nerve-wracking at first, but I mean, I don't regret it, you know.
So finally off the cuffs.
Yeah, man.
They're not golden anymore. They're
No,
done.
they're not. Now there's
they're bullshit. It's over, right?
Exactly.
It's the end. So here you are. You didn't know much about watches before WTA.
I didn't really know anything about watches. I had the very first conference that I went to was when you had it in Fort Lauderdale a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I remember the big one.
Yeah, the big one. Yeah. Yep. And I had a 36 millimeter like two-tone date just on, you know, and I'd like that was kind of like my extent.
So you knew Rolex like everybody else on Earth.
Correct.
Like you buy a Rolex when you're like you want an expensive
But I
watch.
didn't like know to say I knew watches. Like I didn't know shit.
Okay. And today here you are, $250,000. How long ago did you join WTA?
I joined WTA in November of 2022.
Okay. So I want to get to the meats and potatoes of this like in detail, but in 22, end of 22, you joined WTA. We're now in the beginning of 24. It's not even 2 years later. You now have $250,000. So a year and a half later, like not even a year and 2 months later.
Yeah, like 14 months
Yeah,
later.
exactly. You're now having $250,000 a year profit margin. That's insane.
It is.
Did you believe that going into WTA? What was the trigger that made you say, I'm going to do watches, or check this out, or oh, this isn't a scam, or whatever that was?
Yeah, no, that's a good question.
Because it sounds skeptical on the outside, right?
So, funny story, dude. I saw you in 2021, right? And I was just like, this is bullshit. You know what I mean? Like,
But tell me more about that, because I think it's important.
Yeah, no, and I was like, you know, like you see the cars, you see the watches, and like, you know, like I saw like the marketing material, and I was just like, I don't know. Like we were still post-COVID in my job, and like we were crushing it, and I was just like, I don't know. You know what I mean? And then I spoke to Ariel, right? I actually sold him a Dark Side of the Moon that I had that was just kind of sitting in my safe. And I got involved with ECH first. I got involved with ECH like April of 22. And I got connected with Ariel through that. And I told him, hey, I have this watch, like it's just sitting in my safe. Do you want it? You know what I mean? So he bought it off me. And I used that to buy all the WTA courses. And like he kind of was just like, no, it's legit. You know what I mean? And I got involved with it and started going through everything, and I was like, okay, this is, you know, there's like, this isn't about wearing watches. This is actually like a finance course.
Yeah, correct.
And it made sense to me because, you know what I mean? It was just like all we're doing here is managing different types of assets.
Right. Very different than, no different than real estate.
It's the same, no different
Same
than
model,
managing any portfolio.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And once I saw that that's what you were teaching, then it kind of clicked. You know what I mean?
So it was easier than just making it sound like it was about watches.
Yes, correct.
But we do sell watches.
But we do sell. We do sell watches. we do sell watches for sale.
So let's talk a little bit about you're in WTA now. You realize it's not bullshit. What was the biggest aha moment in the trainings that kind of made you like go? Because you've taken part 1, 2, and 3 now.
Yeah.
Like in detail. So what was I don't care which one, but I'm saying what was the aha moment in which of the training that really woke you up to being successful? Not just like buying and selling watches, but that really made you realize like, okay, I'm doing this.
It was in June of last year.
What happened?
I bought my first AP.
Okay.
Right. And when I got my first AP, I had like, you know what I mean? Like you see them in like the Big Pimpin' video, like Jay-Z's rocking one when I'm a kid.
This
like,
was after part 3, right?
This was
I
after,
assume
yeah,
you bought
correct.
part 3 because I thought it teaches you about APs.
Yes, correct.
Okay, and then you buy your first AP.
I bought my first AP in June, and it's like when I had that on my wrist, like I didn't sell it for like 2 months. You know what I mean? Because I was just like wearing it, and it was awesome. You know, and when I realized that I could start making money wearing something that I actually like truly enjoy at the same time, then it kind of all changed. You know, my whole like mindset shifted, and you know what I mean? I've been in sales and like marketing and stuff my whole life, dude, right? And like my whole thing, like if you're known for everything, you're known for nothing.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
correct,
saying?
yeah.
So I created that like niche in the AP market, and then kind of like took off from there because I actually genuinely love these things, you know. And that was like that mental shift after WTA 3 when I started playing in the AP market.
Okay. So for you, was that trigger for the AP because it was something you've always loved and wanted, and when
Yes.
you actually got it, you realized you could make money with it, and it was like game over now?
Correct. And then it just became easier, you know what I mean? When you're doing something you love, it's easy.
Well, the funny story is one of the key ways you've been able to make good margin on watches is you've taken this sole focus on AP as kind of a generic, like a primary focus point.
Like
Let's say-
90%.
Right, like a
I'd say,
primary,
yeah.
even if it's over 70% of your inventory
Yeah.
being basically AP. One thing I like is, you know, you're known as the AP guy in the group.
Yeah.
Like every time you have this thing that says if it's your first AP, call me. Like,
Yeah.
and one of the things that people don't realize in the group is they look at that as a very like generic marketing thing. They go, oh, he's trying to sell us
Yeah.
a watch. But I don't see it that way, actually. And one of the reasons I speak to a lot of people about that, because they ask me, they're like, well, you know, he's just always saying that saying about the AP. But I go, what you guys don't realize is that what Mike's doing is he's making you share his passion for AP, and he's discounting it for you guys for the first one. He's going to make money. That's his job. Nobody works for free. Like
I do make money.
I know, but well, you wouldn't be here, right?
Yeah, exactly.
This is the argument. You wouldn't be here. And a lot of times people go, well, I think it makes too much. It's none of anyone's business how much money someone makes. You put a price, they don't want it, they don't buy it. Someone else will buy it. You know, that's not the end of the world. They just don't understand that. But a lot of times I tell people, I'm like, it comes across, for me, someone that recognizes this in people, is I see it as a very genuine way to be like, hey, if you want to discover AP, I want to help you discover AP.
Exactly.
Right?
That's my whole thing. And like I tell people all the time when they call me, I'm like, you can go and buy this cheaper elsewhere. Right? You can always get something cheap, but you're gonna get a real product that's running well. I'm gonna take care in delivering it. I'm gonna make sure that it's, you know, delivered properly, that it's running well. If it's not running well, you're gonna send it back to me and I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna get it fixed for you. You know what I mean? Like you're dealing with someone that's going to be reputable because I actually care about this. You know what I mean?
But I think it comes across that way for me, anyways.
No,
in your listings,
for sure, man.
And I get that, and I think that's been a big part of your strategy, has it not?
Yeah, it is. I mean, because I genuinely do love it. You know what I mean? It's like a labor of love, kind of. You know what I mean?
So prior to AP, though, you were already making money with different brands.
I was making a little bit, yeah.
Okay. So tell me about that transition and shift in dollar. How much money were you making before Part 3 and how much after?
So,
like per month, I
good
mean,
question. I sold my first watch December 7th of 2022. From December 7th of 2022 through June of 2023, I think I did like 13 grand.
Total
Profit.
in all those months.
Yes. On like Hublots and Panerais and stuff like that, which I mean, I still buy those every once in a while. I like them, you know what I mean? But they didn't spark that, like, it wasn't, it wasn't what I wanted to do. You know what I mean? And now you got me over here wanting to go into the RM market. I'm like,
Well, I'm
RMs
forcing
every
you to
day.
level up, right?
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, you forced yourself to level up.
I did, yeah.
And I'm forcing you to level up even
I
more,
know.
right?
And now I'm looking at the RM market every day. I'm like,
Right,
oh, man.
exactly. And we should level up even past that later.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
We'll get there.
And the thing is, it's unlimited upside.
Always.
You know what I'm saying?
Every business,
So,
if you're good at it. You know?
yeah, that's one thing I learned right through all of this, especially the way that you teach it as like the asset management and like wealth transfer and moving from one thing to another. There's unlimited upside in it, which I love. you
Always.
know?
So you recently bought an Aston Martin DBX SUV.
Did.
Beautiful one too. Great
it.
options. I
Love
think
it.
it was the lightning silver with the red interior, if
Yeah.
I remember. This was your first epic exotic, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Okay, like the other ones were like just luxury cars, like normal stuff.
I had the SVA, the Range.
Okay, yeah, exactly. So it wasn't bad, but it wasn't like.
It was nice, you know
but it
what I
wasn't
mean?
like epic.
Yeah,
right?
no,
it
it
wasn't
wasn't
like cool.
epic.
Okay. So let's take a second and talk about how has owning an exotic changed your watch business? Like what has changed in your capacity?
A lot, dude.
Okay, so tell us.
So there's like a very like special feeling when you get behind the wheel of like a car that you actually like really like. You know what I mean? You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Nah, I mean, look around.
Exactly. You know, dude, it's just like the mental shift being behind the wheel of something like that changes the game. You know, and I put my Instagram on the windows and stuff. I've gotten messages on Instagram from people, and it just like when you throw it on Instagram or like, you know what I mean, you're talking to, for instance, I was talking to huge car collector in Texas. A couple weeks ago, I bought an AP off of him, right? And instantly when I told him, yeah, no, I got the Aston DBX, and I'm looking at, you know, I was looking at the GT3R at the time when I was messaging you. I'm looking at this GT3R. He's like, oh yeah, I got this, and then we start talking over cars, and now all of a sudden he's talking himself down. I don't even need to negotiate against him. He's talking himself down on this watch that I'm looking to buy from him, just because he doesn't care. You know what I mean? He just wants to move it and get a little bit of liquidity. He's not a dealer, and he understands what I do and didn't care to talk himself down on it. So just the connections that you make with it's game changing. You know.
Good. So it's helped a lot, I assume.
For sure.
Okay. What's next?
Dude, I don't know. I'm scared to death to level up to like a $250,000 car.
Why? I say RM and $250,000 car.
Dude.
RM, $250,000 car.
I'm just like, what did you say? Pissing with an erection or something like that? Dude, I still have that like mental block a little bit. You know what I mean? Well, I had it was the same thing when I bought a 50.
But wasn't the RM exercise a good exercise in elite coaching when we were talking
awesome.
about the like trying to get through it? So you kind of like
and you're 100%.
you make it
correct.
logical instead of impulsive, right? Like you make
Like-
it, you
like
understand the numbers and you understand why it would work if you negotiate it correctly. And
Like
got to the
asset
right dollar.
management.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
100%, right? And looking at it, it's like, okay, I'm not risking 150, I'm risking 10.
Right,
I'm
exactly.
risking 10 for a potential 50.
Yeah,
Because if I get the right retail client, I can get 200 out of an RM30. You know what I mean? So changing that thought process was definitely helpful. Still doesn't change the fact that it's scary, but
It's
definitely
scary. It's
helpful.
okay, yeah.
You know.
Well, good. So you're now going to level up again. You're at $250,000. How has your personal life changed?
Dude, I mean, I was just at Disney with my daughter turned 6 last week. We took her to Disney, and I don't have like, you know, my phone ringing off the hook with like working for people, you know what I mean? Like just having that freedom to be able to, you know, go out and do what I want to do and spend more time with my family and do stuff like that, it means everything to me, you know what I mean? So the freedom that this has given me is really what it's all about. And now it's just, you know, time to keep on leveling up. That's it.
So let's get other people to level up with you. I think this is like the best part of Watch Trading Academy, right?
I agree.
Like,
I agree.
Other people helped you level up,
Yeah,
basically,
for sure.
right? Like they
100%.
became your inner circle of conversation between elite coaching, between just
man.
friends you met along
exactly.
the way.
Guys like Lucas and
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? It's all a game changer with these
So the
guys.
community's been a big reason why a lot of people find success because they find each other, they learn from each other, grow outside of just the training I put together. Let's talk a little bit about advice for individuals that are at the 100K club level, want to level up to 250. How would you recommend, or what are some steps you recommend they take to be able to scale?
Good question. Find what you love, right? Build that. I had to start treating it like a business instead of, okay, I just sell watches. You know what I mean? Once I
Explain that. What is the difference between the two?
just selling watches is like, okay, I'm going to try and make a quick flip here, right? Building a business is focusing on the relationship side of it.
Okay.
I had a lot of repeat customers, you know what I mean? That will buy from me just because they know that what I will provide, they're going to get exactly as it's described. You know what I mean? Like actually caring about what you're doing, creating repeat business, and treating it as such, you know what I mean? It really helped me kind of just explode from that 100 to 250 pretty quick, you know? So, I mean, love what you do.
So, you know, one of the questions we get a lot is, should you specialize in one brand or not, or do all these other brands? You found success in one brand more than others. Why do you think you have and other people don't?
Good question.
What is it that you've done specifically that, are you a better buyer? Are you a better relationship manager? Like, what specifically has been the reason you win in that space and others don't?
I mean, all the money is made on the buy.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Talk about that a little bit, because I think it's important.
I buy cheap, dude.
Yeah,
you
but
know
explain,
what I mean?
how do you buy cheap? Because there's still a guy that struggles to get stuff at target price.
Yeah.
You're buying stuff below target price.
Correct.
So tell me about, are you a special dealer? Do you know a special handshake when you walk in the jewelry district? What is it that you do that a person cannot duplicate?
I mean, I have these relationships with a lot of dealers now. I also buy a lot overseas, which, you know what I mean? I take the risk of doing that. Like over the holidays, I had like 90 grand caught up in customs for like almost a month.
Scary, huh?
Which is scary as shit, you know what I mean? But like, when I started doing this and I knew that I was gonna take that like full-time step, I knew I was gonna have to do something outside the box. So I started to do that, and it's risky, you know what I mean? But I did it, and it's paid dividends. I have a lot of relationships like in Hong Kong and Singapore now, and like dealers in the States, right? If they get an offshore that comes in, they call me. You know what I mean?
So when you started buying offshores, since it was something that was big for you, did you buy this cheap?
No.
Okay.
No, I actually, dude, there was like probably like 3 or 4 offshores in a row that like I made maybe like $200-300 on.
Okay. But you still bought them.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to know how you win, that's the answer. You basically don't stop yourself over, I don't have a perfect deal, so I'm just not going to do anything, hold my dick in my hand and basically do nothing.
That's one of the biggest things. I talk to a lot of people, and the analysis paralysis that goes on.
Well,
with
it has to be this number, or like, if it's not within $100, I will forfeit the $1,900 I can make for the $100.
This is my favorite question that I get is like, what do you pay for this watch? I'm like, I've had 10 of them. I've paid 19 and I've paid 23.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's.
But they don't understand that.
No.
I try to explain this in deal flow a lot about.
Deal flow is like, and I've learned, like, I've always focused on deal flow.
Because you've taken FTC too, right?
Yeah.
Which FTC were you in?
I was in FTC. I was in FTC back when it was called Cal's Coaching.
Okay, like a long time ago.
Yeah, that was the beginning of 2023, first quarter of 2023. And then I did FTC 5.
Okay, so the one.
Or is it 6 right now?
6 is right now, yeah.
No, I did 5. I did the one before this.
No, we're in 5. We're going on 6,
4.
then 4.
Then I did 4. Yep.
All right, yeah, 4.
And like, deal flow is imperative.
I know.
Right? And here's the I'll still make $800 on a $30,000 EP.
Sometimes,
I don't care.
To earn a customer and to keep it going and
to keep a customer
repeat.
happy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Dude, I got a I got a 26405 CE, right? Ceramic blue, brand new, 2024 AP the other day. Great price, like 54. I sold it for 55 to a good customer of mine because I value the relationship. You know what I mean? Like there's some people, I have a rule, I won't make more than $1,000 on it. You know what I mean? And it just is what it is.
Well, it's a personal choice on how you do business and what matters, you know?
Correct. You know, I value that relationship more than making the 10 grand on that watch that I could have. I knew that he liked stuff like this. I sent it to him. I was at my $1,000 cap. It is what it is, you know?
I think it's so important to understand that that's what differentiates winners from losers, is how quickly they can adopt to deal flow and not to get stuck in their own head.
I agree.
So what last piece of advice do you have for people, regardless if they're new, making 10 million or not?
Don't get caught up on the numbers, man, right? Transact. Just buy your first watch. If you haven't bought one yet, just go out and buy it, even if it's like $500 above target or whatever. Just get out and like move it and prove to yourself that you can do it. Don't get too caught up on the numbers. I talk to so many people that get hung up on numbers and they can only move one watch a month because of that. Whereas they literally ask me all the time, like, I have like a $4,000 price range that I pay for that same exact watch, all depending on when it's coming, you know? So, you know, just get out there and transact, guys. You know what I mean? Keep the money moving and prove to yourself that you can do it, right? Success begets success. So as you start moving these things, you're gonna realize, okay, I can actually do this. You start building your references, you start building your client base, and now all of a sudden, you're in this game, you know? Whereas if you're sitting on the sideline and you're only doing one watch a month because you're afraid to lose $500 on it, you're never gonna get anywhere. And that's just the truth, man, you know?
But that's the beauty of the game, right?
It is.
Congrats again, $250,000 in profit. And guys, listen, from skeptic to believer to rich, however you want to look at it, to Aston Martins and everything in between. Listen, I ask this question at the end of each and every one of these interviews: who will be next? Will you be the next 100, 250K, or 500K club member, or even our next $1 million club member? I would love for it to be you. And if you haven't yet, this is what we have training for. So congrats again, Mike.
Appreciate it.
And to everyone else, let's get after it.
Thanks, guys.
At Watch Trading Academy, we strive to empower individuals to achieve their financial goals through the lucrative world of watch trading. Watch Trading Academy is the leading platform for teaching you how to buy, sell, trade, and invest in luxury watches.